Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Bourbon Street. With us is a gentleman that's been in the business for over 25 years with an illustrious musical career. Two-time Grammy Award winner in 1981 for Best Jazz Fusion Performance and Best R&B Record with Bill Withers, just the two of us. Also, he's teamed up with artists ranging from Kenny Burrell, Hank Jones, George Benson, to Patti LaBelle, Phyllis Hyman, Nancy Wilson, and Dougie Fresh. You know him by some of his great recordings, such as Inner City Blues, Wine Light, The Best Is Yet to Come, Then and Now, Time Out of Mind, Next Exit, and his latest recording, All My Tomorrows. Ladies and gentlemen, Columbia Sony recording artist Grover Washington Jr. How you doing, Grover?
Hey, man, good to see you.
Fellow Sagittarian, too?
There you go.
All right. When's your birthday?
12th.
27th of November.
Cool.
Somebody else is the 12th. Richard Pryor, I think?
I think so. I think Frank Sinatra's the 12th.
Oh, you got Frank on yours.
A whole bunch of us.
I hear you. I got Jimi Hendrix and Bruce Lee on mine.
There you go.
So I'm celebrating. Wanted to ask you, before we start, what are we going to do about your 76ers? They keep losing. Pretty soon you're going to have to...
Pretty good so far, you know. We got a great coach. So that is 75% of the battle right there. We have Sean Bradley, who in the first part of the season really wasn't happening that much, but in the last 20 to 25 games, he showed me the kind of form that he had when he was in college, which is a running, passing, scoring center, you know. And also, don't forget, man, we just got Stackhouse in the house. So we also have like the best small guard in the NBA, and that's Dana Barros.
Yeah, true.
You know, so I don't know, man. Maybe you gotta look elsewhere if you want to look for flaws. I think we're gonna be all right.
Pretty soon you're gonna have to become playing for the Knicks.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, what is the philosophy behind your illustrious, successful career?
The philosophy? Well, I could give you philosophy of why I started playing music in the first place, and that was because there's a lot of common ground in music. A lot of folks that can't even speak like the same language, they can come together and I'll be on the same stage and play a tune. Or folks that don't understand, you know, the language, you can play to them and they can hear the words in their language. So there's a lot of common ground in music, and it's something that I've loved for a long time. Our parents were playing all kinds of music in the house ever since we were old enough to walk, and we have like a healthy respect and a healthy appreciation for the power of music to bring people together and to make musicians play even better than they did before. You know, it goes on like to relating to people too, because how many times have you seen a musician with a little infant, you know, and like a musician that will be playing, and you'll see the whole range of emotions go across that infant's face, you know, which means that you are communicating, you know, and it's all about communication. It's about giving people a gift, and it's about expressing yourself in your own unique musical direction.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with Grover Washington. Take a break 1 second. Pam, you mind getting another battery? That's one of the questions I asked. Definitely on education.
Okay,
interesting. You cool? Okay. Welcome back to Bourbon Street with us, Mr. Grover Washington from Columbia Sony Records. Grover, I wanted to ask you, did you envision yourself as participating in a change or creating an additional style form of jazz, as did Louis Jordan, Charlie Parker, and Ornette Coleman?
Well, I have listened to all those people, and when I first started playing, and I knew that I could understand what everybody else was doing on the bandstand, it was one of the most powerful emotions that I've ever felt, you know, and I wanted to keep getting better at it. I wanted to keep getting better at my instrument so I could communicate, like, you know, with the other musicians and with my audience as well. And I'm just blessed to be able to play music for a livelihood, you know, because it is something I love, you know, and I have a lot of help.
Who did you listen to on records and the radio when you were growing up?
I don't think you got enough tape or batteries for that. You know, I started listening to classical music like when I was real small, and our mom and dad, they would play some Tchaikovsky or Hinderman, and then you would fingers like some Stan Kenton or some Count Basie or Bill Doggett, B.B. King, Howlin' Wolf, Billie Holiday, Dakota Staten, Charlie Ventura, the Four Freshmen, Abyssinian Baptist Choir. It just ran the gamut because we were brought up to realize that music is music, and there's only two different kinds, and that's good and bad. And if it's bad, that means you did something wrong, and you need to go back to the woodshed. All the music's good. There are no wrong notes. It all depends on how we frame a mood, like to pass these musical statements on to our audience, and the care that we take with the melody and the substance of the song. It's an ongoing struggle. You never learn it all, and that's one of the best things about music. You never learn it all. There's always something to learn, whether you're playing with somebody that's been playing like for 30 years or for 30 minutes. You always learn something.
Tell us about your musical education from when you first started.
I started out, I guess, around the age of 8. I got my first saxophone, and I started taking lessons at the Wurlitzer School of Music in Buffalo, New York. That's where I was born.
Oh, okay.
And from there, I went on to have a great teacher. His name is Elvin Shepard. He just passed in the first part of June, as a matter of fact. He was the kind of person that had a wonderful, round, warm tone on his instrument, and he played saxophone and trumpet, which is a hard combination, but he had like a lovely tone on both. And he was the first one to set me down at the piano and tell me that the whole orchestra, the whole band is right here where you can see it. You learn this first, then you go to the horn, and then you can relate to other people because you have knowledge of the keyboard, and that is very important. From Elvin, I was working with a lot of bands, and every band that you work with, I always look at what the piano player is doing, how he's voicing the chord, because you can voice a chord 10 different ways, and I just started to remember all these things too, and that is part of a music lesson that you get when you go to play in a band. If you keep your eyes and your ears open, it is a great education. And while I was in the service, I was stationed at Fort Dix, New Jersey, from May of '65 to May of '67. I was going to Trenton State Teachers College. They had teachers coming onto campus, and I did that for about a year. And I guess it was around the same time I was working on the album Wine Light. I just figured that it was time for me to go back into school because I wanted to be like a proficient writer. Also, I just didn't want to just be a player. I wanted to create and make myself like a better writer. Hopefully, to write for films and different things like that, because I have written for I guess like a black play, and all of the basics are really the same in that. I guess the right answer, how much education I have, is the fact that it's still going on, and I'm still learning new things, and hopefully I'll be able to pass those things on too, because I do a lot of seminars and a lot of master classes. Because if someone didn't take the time with me when I was 8, 9, 10 years old to answer my questions, where would I be?
Gotcha.
And that is a part with me when I was 8, 9, 10 years old to answer my questions, where would I be?
Gotcha.
And that is a part of the legacy of the music. It is part of the brotherhood and sisterhood all musicians share, no matter what language they speak. It's about sharing what you know and passing along. Maybe somebody else have a different musical outlook. Because I always had the idea, straight ahead's fine and stuff. And I love Stanley Turrentine, but then I also loved Archie Shepp. I loved all of the forms of music, and I said, maybe there's another musical direction, because I like folks like Junior Walker and Louis Jordan, and the guys have been playing for just as long, King Curtis, Sol Austin, as well as all the greats. Not to say that they aren't great, but they're just in a different category. And I've always hated categories too, because categories tend to polarize.
Definitely.
And when you polarize something, you separate it. You put that over there and that over there. Meanwhile, nobody can talk, nobody can interact, and interaction is at the heart of the creative process, and that's what we tend to do every night. Even though we might play the same songs, we are interacting differently every night. We're playing off of one another, and what you'll see tonight, we'll be looking into they'll be looking at each other's eyes. We'll be listening like the different grooves that come up, and we'll go with it for a while, and then we'll come back. That's the kind of flexibility that I like, and I'm just fortunate enough to have like a band full of master musicians that I like to go with the flow like that. Because when it's loose, your audience will be loose. If you're tight, your audience is saying, "Oh, well, it must be time to go." Or, "Whoa, what about those Phillies, huh?" You know what I mean? So, we try to deal with it like that.
You worked with vocalists for a number of years.
Yeah.
And it seems like you've enjoyed working with vocalists. Why are they always in your records?
Basically, it is because of the song. Everything starts with the song. The kind of substance that a vocalist brings adds like a different dimension, like to what you're working on. And the fact that you might have a song that might not be good for an instrumental might be great for a vocal. So you have to be sensitive enough, like, to listen to the song and say, well, it's not going to work as an instrumental. Who can I hear singing this song? Or who can I hear talking and communicating these lyrics? And when you start to think, you'll always come up like with, a compatible match.
How was it working with the late Phyllis Hyman? You two had a good balance together.
She was a very gifted artist. First of all, you don't find too many singers that are stylists. You either find either a stylist or a singer. She could do both. She could go in all genres, and she will be missed, especially like for the for the inspiration that she gave like the younger singers coming up.
Very curious about, you worked with Bill Cosby on 2 albums. Also, I saw you at the presidential inauguration with Illinois Jacquette and the rest of the fellas.
Yeah, that was a treat.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. How did you enjoy working with Bill and being at the inauguration with all the fellas?
It was a feeling of inclusion that I really got from it. There were musicians, there were folks really like from all walks of life, and they were included in this celebration. And I've always been of the mind to think that is the way that this country should be.
Definitely.
And just the mere fact that it wasn't just jazz musicians, it was every musician, like from the entire spectrum. From classical, they had Kathleen Battle, to Jerry Mulligan. It was happening, and we had a great time, and we'll probably do it again.
You've composed and performed music for television, commercial jingles. Any chance on a movie score?
I have done a made-for-TV movie. It was called Percy and Thunder. It was on TNT, and I had the help of another good friend of mine, Mr. Tom Scott.
Oh, okay.
He had given me like a lot of help and valuable direction in the art, and it is an art of film scoring. And I look forward to doing more things, but I'll definitely be behind the camera. I won't be in front of the camera. I'll be behind.
Your latest recording, All My Tomorrows, terrific traditional work and great artists on it also. From time to time, you produce a traditional jazz recording, which I definitely appreciate, and most of your work has been predominantly, we'll say, contemporary fusion, with some urban in there.
A little of that.
Right, Louis. Since you are very popular and audience attractive, meaning selling records, which style do you prefer for your audience?
I prefer all styles for my audience because, when your audience sits down, they don't want to hear the same thing all the time. Or you don't want to hear the same thing all the time. Maybe you say, click, turn it right off. We have the musicianship available and the vision that we have never lost since we all started playing, that we want to entertain and we want to play well, and we like to delve into all forms of music, and you will hear all forms of music tonight because I've been playing for 25 years, and it's still hard to put a category on me, and I love that, because once the audience finds out that we have more similarities than differences, then we can get down to really relating to one another.
I've heard great applause about your latest project with the Urban Knights. How did that come about?
Oh, that was wonderful. That was a dream, really, of Ramsey's and mine, because we have both worked on each other's projects. That we've always said, if the opportunity ever presents itself, that we could work as a part of like an all-star band, that kind of situation, would you go for it? I said, sure. You know, so we called and said, how would you like to play with me, Omar, and Victor Bailey, and being produced by Maurice White? And I couldn't say yes fast enough. And I think that the results really bear me out, because I got there like on the last day of rehearsals before studio started, and I had to learn all 10 tunes in one day, and then the studio started like the next day. And you hear the joy and the creativity and the spontaneity on that record. It was real and it's genuine, and there was no producer like Maurice White. He is the man.
Final question. With the social political climate of the 70s, when you produced the classic Inner City Blues, it was time appropriate. Anything for the present times or the year 2000?
I think we could probably play the same song with just a little bit of an update, because we have to include different forms of the music that weren't happening then, like rap and house and hip hop and stuff like that, because the same things that were wrong back then are wrong today, and it takes all of us to look at it and decide on a plan of action and not have another study. I'm tired of hearing about studies like to research poverty. They know what happens. You're poor, and you can't raise yourself. We have to start helping ourselves. We have to make sure that we educate all our young people and educate our old people too. And then I think that we will have the power to go to the next level.
Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate having Grover Washington with us on Bourbon Street. Hopefully one day we can get him to do a master class at either Yale or Hart School of Music, or even the Artist Collective with Jackie McLean.
Call me.
Definitely like to get you up here.
Yeah, all right.
All right, thank you. And once again, welcome to Bourbon Street.
All right.
Please come back.
Thank you very much, man.
Okay.